Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It's been maybe 20 seconds since I last left you, so hopefully you didn't go anywhere. But we are ready for our next run! Who's up for some parking garage rally circuit? If you're interested in racing cars inside a crowded parking garage, this is the speed run for you. So, this will be done by the lovely ateatree, so that's all I have for you. T-Tree, please, the floor is yours.
And welcome to Parking Garage Rally Circuit. The short version of the pitch for this game is: what if the likes of Sega Rally or Daytona USA were put onto PC and set entirely inside parking garages? That's really the long and short of it. There's more to get into as we go. This is actually kind of the most technical game I've ever speedrun, so I'm excited and a little nervous to show it off for you here today. You can see from the demo that the other thing about the game is that it has kind of an exaggerated physics engine, which really dictates a lot about how the run is done and provides lots of opportunities for good content, such as it were. With me today on the pit crew is my dear friend Amber Cyprin. How are you doing today, Amber?
I'm doing well. I do not run this game, but I've watched Tree run it a fair bit in the ILs, and it's absolutely ridiculous. You're gonna love this.
Yeah, no, you could absolutely attest to the idea of if anything goes wrong, at least you get good content out of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, well, without further ado...
At the very least, chat gets laughter.
True. Yeah, so this is a game by Australian developer Wallaber Games, featuring a Texas-based band called the Holophonics, who did the soundtrack for every track, including what you're hearing now and all the tracks for the different courses in the game. I don't know how Australia and Texas linked up like that, but the Holophonics are like a ska band, but also a video game cover band, so if you're interested in that, check them out on Bandcamp. So we have our two sets today. The USA circuit is the 8 tracks built into the game by Wallaber, and if our donation incentive is met, we'll go ahead and mod our Saturn to play some modded tracks on the mod circuit. So get your donations in for that if you are so interested. Like I said earlier, Crash Team Racing, Mario Kart, and Sonic R and Sonic the Hedgehog are all potentially on the docket today. But we'll go over into the USA circuit, the 8 culturally significant parking garages around the United States. We have 3 different classes of car. Today we'll be racing the Ultra class, which is kind of more like a sport utility vehicle. But you see we have our light class car, and you can make your own colors and liveries. So we've got the trans rights light class car, the lesbian pride heavy class car, and the non-binary, representing both myself and Amber, Alta Forte Z Ultra class car. The time's going to start as soon as we get the go on the first track here at the Learning Garage. 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, so the Learning Garage, it's basically what it says on the tin. It's a downward ramp into 2 tight curves, essentially making kind of an S carabiner curve, with the second curve going back up a ramp. So the second half of the track is full of cars, some of which are on the inside of the curve, so you do have to drift around them, and we're going to be doing 5 laps. This is the only track that has a different number of laps for every vehicle class, with 5 being the longest for the Ultra class. And every lap after the first one is just so much harder because of the speed at which you're taking the tight turns, going down the ramps, trying to avoid the cars. And I believe all of the car parking spots and what types of cars are in those parking spots are randomly generated upon loading the track. That's
absolutely correct.
Right?
So your turns can be a little different. The results you get will be different depending on what cars spawn in where. Thankfully, we don't have any like trucks or vans around the inside curves, so no big deals there. Mm-hmm. You did see a couple of times I got a black puff of smoke out behind my car, which is because I braked too hard trying to like change my curvature and basically make my racing lines. And so if you brake too hard, you do break your chain essentially, like I just did there. So I have to take the ramp, which is going to change how the entire rest of this lap on Mount Rushmore here, the shortest track in the game, plays out. We're still going to take some of the same skips like we did, just kind of going over the embankment and going through that edge, but how the rest of this goes, I missed a checkpoint. Darn. You really only have to tag the outside edge of the checkpoint, but because I missed it, I have to change this line. So if you're going full speed, you actually basically get there at the same time as all those rocks, and you have to navigate your way under and through them. But we got an easier line because we got a slightly slower time.
So we haven't really talked about the main mechanics. The main mechanics do come down to going fast, drifting a lot, and coming out of drifts at an appropriate time to make turns while also keeping your speed. It's a lot easier than you'd think to drift poorly and to get put down to a lower speed than you'd want to. So that and figuring out when and how hard to feather the brake if you watch the input display. You can adjust the steering to nail drift lines. And like that's basically your constant nemesis throughout the run. The top couple of runners actually also feather the accelerator, which gives them better lines through some stages and makes momentum conservation much easier. But as Tree had mentioned, this is one of the most technical speed games that they have run so far. So they haven't quite taught all of their fingers how to think independently of one another quite yet. But the addition of the input display that Tree has added is definitely what makes me appreciate just how difficult this speed game actually is.
Yeah, that was Amber's idea. I appreciate that very much. You saw in the end of the last track there, we came out of a line going absolutely the wrong direction, but as long as you touch the checkpoint, you are able to use a reset button to immediately be put back down in front of that checkpoint. So
yes,
that's how we kept it going there.
Yeah, in full game runs in non-ILs, like resetting to a checkpoint, as long as you've managed to barely touch it, you could be upside down for all I care. You haven't lost a ton of time in the grand scheme of things in a full game run, but in an IL, that is basically a catastrophic end to your run.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's all about keeping the full speed the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, missed the checkpoint again.
Yeah, just barely missed that corner.
Yeah, the heavy or the ultra class car in particular has the biggest problem with pushing cars and barricades out of the way. I'm a little bit specious about doing it, and I try not to do it at full speed because of the heightened weight of the car, because the center of gravity is higher. If you take a bad bump off of something, you're going to go flying. This is Seattle Airport.
Also, do you like airports?
Yep. Yeah, no, you can already see the whole idea of if you've ever been in an airport that has one of the like super tall corkscrew entrances and wondered what taking one of those at full speed would be like. Tried to sneak my way into the fastest cycle there in front of that luggage cart, but did not make it. That's okay. Still got to do a little bit of braking to not slam into the front wall there. Veritas, is there anything to talk about while we make our second lap around the airport?
You bet there are. I have $10 from Frappe, who says, PGRC community represent. Good luck, ateatree.
Hey, thank you so much,
And I got $20 from Final Flame, who says, did somebody say incentive? And with those two donations, we've made it. We've made our incentive to the Community Track Showcase. Congrats, everyone.
Awesome.
Heck yeah.
Thank you both so much.
I'd also like to give a quick shout out to our next bid war for Love 3. That's the run coming up right after this. If you want to put your bids in for which flag you want which colors you want the trace flag to be, this is the time to put them in before the run starts. We've got LGBTQ, trans, NB, bi, and pan. Put those donations in now. All right, back to you.
is a fantastic runner. Like, you definitely want to get those donations in for the Love trilogy. Heppenwana is a wonderful runner of all three of those games and very wholesome. So if we've got, car flipping nonsense here, we're going to have a wholesome person to follow that up right after this.
Are you saying I'm not wholesome?
I mean, you sure are, but I don't know about car flipping nonsense being wholesome in a parking garage.
Well, there aren't people in it, so you don't have to think about the implications of... But yeah,
it's true. We're also driving at night, if you will.
Yeah, and we're going to take a known, if not necessarily intended, glitch. You're supposed to go down around the outside of the bottom floor and make your way around the outside back up to here, and then come around the outside of the curve, at which point lightning strikes a transformer and all the lights go out. And I don't want to have to do the entire second lap without being able to see anything except from my headlights. So instead, I made a little clover leaf and came back around the inside to finish that lap, which means I get to keep all the lights on.
Yeah, it is actually really cool that the dev has left that in, whether or not it was intended, because I have seen the effect of having to drive with just your headlights. It's with these physics.
Yeah, and if you whip your way around some of these turns on the inside of the garage too quickly, you will just absolutely lose it and fall down several floors from which there is no easy recovery.
Okay, so if you remember 2 tracks ago, the Seattle airport, well, what if the ramps were a little wider, but you also jumped back and forth between them regularly? This is Chicago, is it Marina or Marina? Marina, okay. So the casual route is to use the ramps and make it easier to get across, but with carefully controlled boosting and not bumping into anything.
Yeah,
I say as we have bumped into
didn't
something.
quite get that, but we recovered well enough.
Yeah, so if we're able to preserve momentum, we can avoid every ramp, since being in the air means that we do take a small speed loss off the ramp. But we also can't accelerate while in midair. This game might have taken some cues from Mario Kart, but we can't yet transform our vehicle into a glider or, have a propeller in the water.
Idea for a future update, though.
It's true. This necessitates remembering where the ramps are on each corkscrew, by the way, so that we can avoid them, especially since for some we'll have to squeeze just barely before or after the ramp to avoid obstacles on landing.
Yeah, 2 and 3 here are the tightest on that. So here's the second ramp
trying to make
up.
transitions clearly is really hard.
Oh, wow, I got a lucky bump there.
The ceiling course corrected you.
Wait.
Nope,
that one's not coming back. That's okay.
It's like, nope.
We take the time loss and we soldier on.
It's true. Honestly, the flips are the best part of these runs.
Right, like I knew things weren't going to go quite as well as any practice runs because of the nerves, but I feel confident in saying that any time where something goes wrong is good content, and that's all right too.
It's true. I mean, that's half the battle with this game. It's like, how much do I want to balance having a clean lap versus showing how ridiculous this physics engine is?
So you can see as we finish each track, there's a number up at the very top. You're only seeing them very briefly, but you could see that track was technically 25 seconds behind my best IL, because this really, at the end of the day, is an IL-based game. Every level is only so long, and so it's actually like, it's genuinely very fun and I think unfrustrating as somebody who doesn't like ILing that much to IL in this game, because, it's like Meat Boy. You're only in a level for, a minute or so. So doing it again to get a better line, to get the mechanics down, to learn how everything works is a lot of fun. I didn't have a particularly fast lap, so we're actually going to take the alternate route over here, over the snowbank. If you're going too fast, you will absolutely not make that cleanly. But since we didn't make it cleanly through the garages themselves here at the Minnesota Mega Mall, we were able to take the alternate track to save a little bit of time. But yeah, this is kind of the SGDQ course, except for all the snow.
Yeah, this is what happens if we were on a different hemisphere, basically.
Yeah, I mean, game was made in Australia. That tracks. But yeah, if you're wondering if different terrain like the snow has different physics, yes, absolutely, and that is one of the main challenges on this course.
And it definitely changes how each of the weight classes feel. While we're on the Ultra, and it like, what's the difference between like Ultra normally and Ultra on snow?
I feel like you have to feel that for yourself. It's kind of the handling model is more like if you were going really, really fast, even though you're taking the snow at normal speed. And we're already on to the final course in the USA circuit, which is the other track in the game with lyrics. So if you like a good little bit of inspirational ska-based butt rock, this one's for you. Oh, don't like to see that.
This is Liberty Island. You could call it Final Exam. This track features everything from sharp corners to alternative terrains, 3 different ones even, speed bumps, the dirt half loop, and we're going to feature the Rainbow Road a little bit later. These all cause the track to behave differently. Most of each lap ultimately boils down to keep the speed up to make the Rainbow Road ramp that we're on right now as smooth as possible. But we do have to very carefully brake some amount depending on how fast we're going. Oh no!
I let go of the brake before we took off, and so what that did is it basically rear-wheel drive car. If you let go of the brakes, the front half of the car is going to jump.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I still didn't preserve the boost like I wanted. You want to be at full boost going around this period, because this dictates how the next section of track is going to go. We'll see if we can get it on the next lap. Granted, it will make this section much easier. If you come around this at full speed, well, again, we'll see what happens on the next lap. Okay, good. Made the transition going full speed.
Okay, there we go. Got that
Nice.
crossover.
Let's finish strong.
Yeah, the ultra class is also
go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh.
I was just going to talk about the speed bumps in the ultra class.
Gotcha. Yeah, they're the only the ultra class, because of its weight, is the only one that can take speed bumps. Especially in the light class car, if you hit a speed bump, you're basically done for. Veritas, any announcements as we finish up here?
Sure thing. If you're looking to donate, make sure you type !donate in the chat, and that will take you to our Tiltify page where you can make a direct donation. We have our current bid war for Love 3 that's coming up right after this run in about 10 minutes after the bonus levels are completed for any of 5 different trace flag colors. So please get those in right now. That run's coming up very soon. This is the time to make those donations.
GG.
Right. That is the main circuit for Parking Garage Rally Circuit. Didn't get to finish strong like I wanted, but hopefully not so bad. Yeah, it looks like a
12:42 when you actually cross the finish line.
Okay, not bad. Still well under estimate. All right.
Oh yeah.
Let's jump right on into the mod circuit. So thank you so much for making this possible, everyone. These are a series of very silly tracks made by passionate workshop developers in many cases, and I was super excited to see this and impressed by the results. They are tracks directly recreated from other racing games.
You're going to see some very familiar tracks, and maybe one that is that should be familiar, but only if you've been to an arcade.
Yeah, true. Let's go ahead and start with that one, actually. Here, we got all of Crash Team Racing. We'll come back to that in a bit. Yeah, this is Mario Beach from Mario Kart Arcade GP. Including the music.
And I actually recognize this track, because I've definitely played it. And as Tree has said, it said to me, like, in practice yesterday, when you're playing a kart racing track that was, like, meant for multiplayer battles, if you will, with tons of items and chaos happening on the track, it can feel a little lonely.
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll take care of that by next lap. We'll be going so fast that you really have to lock in on the experience.
But we've got some good tracks coming up. Not just this one, but there's, like, you know, some good Crash Team Racing stuff and a couple of Sonic tracks. Although I'd argue the Sonic R one was definitely meant for smaller characters than this giant car.
True.
Whoa.
That's okay. We passed the checkpoint. We passed the checkpoint. Yeah, no, like, you can hit the fastest speeds you might ever see in this game going around this track. I've hit 190 kilometers an hour, which is about 100 actual miles an hour, which is, yeah, given how narrow this course is, it kind of makes your tolerance for mistakes down to microns.
It's funny how you call this narrow. This is actually a pretty wide track for a Mario Kart game. Oh.
I'm surprised that didn't happen at all during the actual race. If you just, you know, you see the left stick jiggling back and forth, if you get the timing just wrong on that, that will happen easily and regularly.
Oh, absolutely. So, if you like bridges, look away, because these bridges are awful to drive across, but Green Hill Zone, as it is
as
ever so
reinterpreted as a
popular
racing
among the Sonic
course
community. So these bridges, they look as awful as you'd think they would. They all have gaps, so if you aren't going full speed straight across, your wheels are going to catch in the gaps, and you're going to flip over faster than Sonic himself could.
You don't get to turn very well. Speaking of, yeah, the turn here is quite tight, so we're feathering our brake and using the left stick to change our direction around these tight curves.
Oh my god. I feel like this was designed with, like, the car that's its own input display in mind, the tiny one.
Ah, yes, the Pluto.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the car that's meant for the tutorial, but with cheat codes that you unlock from playing the game, you can actually race as the input car and see the kind of the equivalent of what I have for in the input viewer up for you on the car itself. Take a look at that before we go. Yeah, but yeah, you absolutely cannot boost across the the rope bridge there.
I didn't know that we could race as the Nintendo Wii.
It's the nunchuck car. You got it. Just a little too hard at the end there. Yeah, no, these tracks in particular, I have also not practiced much. I downloaded some of them yesterday, so this is the raw experience. So if you thought parts of the main run went too well, here's your content
Who cares?
section.
Got the checkpoint.
Exactly. All right. You know what? While we're on Sonic,
Okay, so
flashing
Ruin.
textures warning.
Yeah, flashing textures warning. The floor likes to phase in and out of existence here, but I'm a big Back in Time fan. This song is a banger. However, this track was definitely designed with the Sonic character models in mind, because all of the tiny obstacles, like those obelisks, are there.
Wait.
However, what's a little funnier about this course being here is that Sonic R started its life as a Formula One racer on the Sega Saturn before it was converted to a Sonic game, which if you've ever played Sonic R, you might wonder, why do they all handle like they're, you know, really heavy vehicles? That's because they were originally really heavy vehicles. You can even end up in a side path where we would normally go for the 100%
Oh boy, I don't think I
route
was supposed
in
to.
Sonic
I don't think I
R.
was supposed to jump that.
No, I
No,
don't think you were.
It's good. It's probably about the same amount of time as resetting would have taken. There we go.
But you can find one of the gold coins you would normally have to collect in the 100% route in Sonic R. It has collision. It's just an obstacle you can't drive past. It's funny. Oh, God. Oh, what?
Oh, and the second time I pressed the... I have an Xbox Elite controller here, so pressing the back paddles is why I've accidentally restarted checkpoints unintentionally 1 or 2 times here. There we go.
Yeah, this is a track among all tracks.
Hey, look at that. Almost like I meant to do it that way.
was... It almost looked intentional. But yeah, all those signs that are telling you where to go, all those arrows, besides the checkpoints themselves, those have collision.
Yeah.
They're not friendly to you either. So clean.
Exactly.
So fresh.
Let's do one of these. Yeah, let's finish up with... There's a Banjo-Kazooie theme track, and whoever made this is devious, because this track is evil.
I mean, good grief, narrow paths with a pile of boxes,
Yep.
ramps every which way that could send you flying. Why not? I bet those feathers have collision.
And that, if you hit the edge of the pirate ship there going at speed, it will bump you. I had to brake into it to not go flying. Oh, nope, 1 turn early.
Oh,
I'm like, yeah, no, I've done this track once. I remember you have to come around the mountain here at one point and then let go. Wrong direction.
you know, these tracks are actually ridiculous. I am
There it
very
is.
thrilled that they
I
exist.
knew it was around here somewhere. Oh,
God,
okay.
just all
The
the- oh,
one
okay.
thing that didn't have collision there, I'm like, that'll stop me. It's a tree. No,
Nope.
I've been betrayed by my own kind.
You know, it took a second for that comment to sink in for me, and I understand now.
Really? I say, I make tree jokes all the time. I feel like you should have been
I
expecting
mean,
it.
so do I.
True. I could really use some of those Breagull feathers. Tell you.
Oh my God.
boy.
Oh,
Wait. No, we can't come back.
Whoa, Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
there
we
is
can
no
come back
recovery from
around
that.
for it. Well, you could. You just, the amount of time it would take to drive back to here, probably not worth it.
Oh my goodness.
Sure, it's us. Anything else to talk about while we finish up here?
Sure thing. We have just opened up a new incentive for a run coming up later, Anton Blast. This incentive closes an hour and 20 into the run. If you'd like to see all collectibles collected in the hell manner, please donate towards this incentive. All donations will go towards it, and you can put your donations towards this incentive, as well as the current bid war for Love 3. So, 2-for-1 deal right there. Get your donations in.
Nice. I saw we have just enough time to do one more track, so let's do something from Crash Team Racing. Unfortunately, the boost pads here and in Cortex's castle are not active, but it's still super neat to see how well tracks from other games from this era translate over into this engine. Interesting also to see how, like, if you noticed off the very first ramp there, the car hit the ground at a very accelerated rate, that there are apparently tools for, like, changing the physics over certain portions of tracks in the editor, which is very neat to see. Trying to keep it.
Well.
I was trying to keep it from doing that, because the other way, there is a path down there to our left that routes back around, and the fast way to get through that section is to jump off of that ramp and land on the, like, floating ramp.
Yeah.
But I was just trying to see if I could keep it from flipping out while I went across the first ramp there. Unfortunately, not so easily. It's really difficult to get a sense of how fast you're going on these tracks that don't necessarily follow the same rules as the ones for the built-in tracks. Yeah, I hope fans of retro racers in general have enjoyed this. People who perhaps are interested in showing off games with lots of goofy content on their streams, because you will be doing lots and lots of crashing like we did today as you get used to the game's physics engine and everything else about it.
Oh yeah, like
yeah.
the car's
Sometimes
like,
you
no,
just get
I'm
stuck in the wall.
determined to live here. I want to live here.
Yeah, Amber, I think now's a good time for some shoutouts.
Yeah, absolutely. If you like what you see here, you can find ateatree doesn't stream very often, but when they do, they're usually on Games Done Quick Hotfix. Every other Wednesday night starting at 7 p.m. Eastern for their show Out of the Box, where they showcase games like this, where you can just start speedrunning them out of the box with no added, third-party software or anything like that. And if you enjoy hearing my voice for some reason or other, you can always find me every other Friday, usually. My show gets moved around a lot. Also on GDQ Hotfix on the week opposite of Out of the Box, typically, where I host Passion Project, which showcases runners like ateatree who are very passionate about the games or projects that they're working on. And that can include anything from playing a game with an abnormal controller, which I've done more than once on, or I've had more than once on the show, or obscure categories, or just like, your favorite run to grind. So if you want, like, anything of what we do, go follow us over at GDQ Hotfix.
And I don't think you got quite as much of me and Amber busting each other's chops as you might normally get during some of our runs, especially co-op-based runs. So if you want to see more of that, check out GDQ's streams from PAX East, where the both of us will be running Ricky and Vicky as a co-op game together. That's another kind of retro-inspired game, originally built as a homebrew project intended to be played on the Atari 7800. So the both of us will be running there and representing our events team, Fast Paced Events. Shout out to Fast Paced Events. So yeah, tune in for that, and the GDQ Hotfix is where you can find the both of us the rest of the time. Other than that, shout out to, again, Fast Paced Events, the Binary Breakers, No Glitches Allowed, for having me on for a run that I'm still a little bit terrified of, but I feel a little more confident having a full run on camera under my belt. Thank you so much for everything. Keep watching No Glitches Allowed.
Give it up one more time for ateatree and Amber Cyprian on commentary. That was an amazing, amazing run. I actually started listening to the game soundtrack yesterday, and some of them are stuck in my head now. So go check out the holophonics. I think they mentioned that earlier, if you're interested in this. But that will be it for Parking Garage Rally Circuit. GG's to you two. So now, next on the schedule, we have got Heppen Wanna running Love 3, which is actually Love 1, 2, and 3 remastered, 100% glitchless. So, if you're interested in a very chill vibes platformer, this run is for you, so stay tuned for that. Beyond that, though, I'd like to remind you about our ongoing incentives and bid wars. Remember, this ongoing bid war is for Love 3, so the run that's coming up right now. This is your last opportunity to get in those donations. If you'd like to change the colors on the trace flag, you have to pick from LGBTQ, trans rights are human rights, by the way, NB, bi, and pan. So, I think, let me check. about on this bid war right now. We have buy in the lead right now, but you can change that with a donation right now if you'd like. So if nothing else changes, we will change that flag to be the buy flag. Beyond that, you can also put your donations towards our currently ongoing incentive for Anton Blast, which is a run coming up later this afternoon. All collectibles in Hell Manor. If you'd like to see all collectibles collected in the game, this is where you put in your donations. So you have those two goals to reach. I know we can do it, chat. This is the time to do it. So hang tight, everyone. We will be back with Love 3 in just a hot second. Stay cool, everyone.